Alright, so here's a little extra video on what we call Lissajous. It's like that. It's like cardioid or any of those other words. It's some, I mean, I don't know. But anyways, let's write some equations. So write a parametric equation over all t values that would create the following Lissajous curves. So the key to these is breaking it up into x's and y's. So if we trace this out, we have t is 0 here, and then we travel along this curve, and we get to here when t is 3, and then we travel along this until we get here when t is 6, and then we travel here until t is 9, and then back to here when t is 12. I'm going to add that in when t is 12. So if I make a tx graph, so x, when t is 0, x is 1, 2, 3, 4. So it starts at 4. And then by the time t is 3, x decreases and decreases and decreases until it gets to when x is 1 at time 3. And then the x increases, 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 increases until t is 6. And then we're back to when t is 4. And then I need a little bit more here. And then x gets bigger, 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 bigger until t is 9. And that x, we're at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then by 12, it comes back here. Well, we just created a sine curve. So x, if we eliminate the y idea of it, x just goes left, right, left, like that. So this would be x equals magnitude of 3, but it's on its way downhill first, sine 2 pi over 12, because that was our period. X took all of 12 to get back to the same x value, having traveled all the way through, up t, and then plus the midline was at 4. Now, if we do the same thing with the y's, t and y. Y, when time is 0, y starts at -1. And y decreases and decreases and decreases until it gets to here when time is 3. But it went from here. It went high, mid, low, mid. So by the time we got to t is 3, we went high, mid, low, mid. Which means if we elongate this all the way to 12, oh, I'm too zoomed in. There we go. If we go all the way to when t is 12, y goes high, mid, low, mid, high, mid, low, mid, high, mid, low, mid, high. It does 1, 2, 3 full cycles. So in 12, it did 3 full cycles, which means our period is actually 4. That's how long it takes to get from high to low to high. And it would do that 1, 2, 3 full times. It would do it at 8, and it would go again at 12. Now we just need some more details. The y values go -1, and then -3, and then -5. So those are our 3 key values. We have our period, we have our midline, and we have our amplitude. So y equals, we started our extreme, so I don't need a negative. The magnitude is 2, sorry, amplitude is 2. I'm going to use cosine because we start at one of the extremes. 2 pi over 4, and the midline is at -3. So the reason that it makes a Lissajous and not a circle or an ellipse is because the periods are different. So type these into your calculator, try those out, and if you make the t go from 0 to 12, and you match these x's and y's, it should draw this Lissajous. And if you want to play a little bit, just start changing periods and experiment and see what it looks like. So I'm going to run through this one, but if you want to, you can just pause, try it on your own, and then fast forward to the end of the video. So for this one, actually I need more room. I'm going to write on the back of this. So I am going to make a, let's see here, x's are all negative here, so I'm going to draw it like this. I'm going to make a tx graph. So where's time is 0? Time is 0 is here, and we're traveling in that direction because we go 4, 6, 8. So 0, 4, halfway in between, this must be when time is 2. So x goes its biggest x, right to the right, and then mid, and then low, and then mid, and then back to the biggest x value again. So t equals 8 is actually the period for the x values. And the x's go -2 is where we start. And then by the time we're at 4, we're at -8. That's in the middle at 4. And then by the time we get back to 8, we're back to 2. So this does that. Ooh, boy, that's a horrible drawing. So x equals, we hit -5 in the middle. So amplitude is 3, cosine 2 pi over 8 because the period was 8. And then the midline was at -5. For the y's, we're going to do, oh, I need to zoom out a little bit. I need to move my phone. There we go. So the y's, if we make a, let's see, all the y's are positive, so I'll draw the x-axis, or the axis low. So ty. So y goes the middle of the y values, and then it goes up and back down, and then by 12 it gets back to the midline, and then it goes down to the bottom, and then back up. So this would also be at 24, and 24 would be our period. So if I go to my graph, I'm at 24 is my period. The y starts at 8, goes up to 14, back to 8 at 12, goes down to 2 at 18. Oh, this was 6. Yep, 6. Down, and then back to the beginning by the time we get to 24. So that would be y equals, amplitude is 6. We use sine because we start in the middle on our way uphill, so I don't need a negative. Period is 24, and we had a vertical shift up 8. So these look really complicated. They're called Lissajous. As long as you break it up into an x and a y graph, writing the equations should not be the difficult part. Making sure that you find the periods is usually where students struggle the most. I hope that helped. Good luck. Baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark, do 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 do, baby shark.